Hello, people. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about one of my fave stocks. It's Izea. That's Izea. So I'm going to be going through the reasons I kind of like this stock from the trading standpoint and why I'm still holding on to it despite everything. I mean, for those of you that have been following this stock, it's kind of a love-hate relationship. All right, well, let's dig deep into it. I'm going to be looking at this stock from strictly a technical perspective. I'm not going to be touching any fundamentals. We're going to look at the monthly time frame, weekly, and the daily. I'll let you know what my thoughts are. Feel free to share yours, okay? All right. And then from the monthly time frame, what we can see is this drop all the way down. We're currently trading at 2.77 cents, thereabout. In just one moment, we can go all the way to analyze what is happening in May. I'm going to tell you why the close of this May candle on the monthly time frame is really important to me, and I think to Izea stock from a technical perspective. All right, let's see what's happening here, okay? Well, the first thing I like to do when I open a chart like this is to try to tell a story, right? And telling a story is to let me know whether we're in a downtrend, we're heading towards an uptrend, or what is happening in general, just to get a perspective to decide what direction the market is going. Now, what direction I go only depends on what direction the market is going. And again, I forgot to mention I'm only doing this on the long term. I'm a long-term trader. I don't enter trades for 2 weeks or 1 week. Minimum time frame I stay in a trade can be 6 months to 2 years. So that's my time frame from entering a trade. I'm just there for the long term, okay? All right, so every time I try to move this chart, this happens. It's hard to focus on what I want to do. So a little trick I do is to move this a little bit by the edge, and now I have where I want to look at, right? Well, first thing I try to do is to get something called a trend line. Sometimes it depends if there's a trend. I kind of see one. I don't know if you see it too with me, all the way from this very top. So it kind of look like almost a near perfect trend. And we have something that looks like this, right? Okay, I'm going to adjust that a little bit. It's starting to look like this, right? Okay, can we see if we can close this trend? Let's see, what is the bottom of this trend? We can start from somewhere here. And now we're having something that looks like this, right? Starting to make sense again. We can even go a little bit further, all the way here. Boom. I like this, okay? Now, looking at this, the first thing I'm noticing from my own point of view, again, we're on the monthly chart. So every candle here represents a month. So technically we're looking at a couple of years, right? And this is from sometime you can say December 2012 or January 2013. I mean, however you want to look at it. And that's like 8 years, right? So we have this falling wedge that's been forming for the past 8 years. And eventually we have a break. And if you know anything about falling wedge or breaks when it comes to trading as a whole, you know that when you break, most times you go back. There's a pullback, okay? There's a pullback to test resistance that is now support. I see that is what we're technically having here, right? We have price pulling back to this area, right? And then I'm going to explain why I think this close of this month is really, really important. Now, the next thing I try to do when I look at a chart like this, after drawing this, we see we have a break. And if I saw a chart like this sometime in, let's go back. Let's say I saw it sometime in September 2020. I'm like, whoa, a break is imminent at some point. It's going to be on my radar. I'm going to be following it month to month. I'm waiting till we get that break or just before we get that break. And that's what I did. And yep. So I'm still looking at it. I know this is the pullback phase. I know a lot of people out there are halting about this. I'm also halting too because, I mean, man, there's a lot of money on the table, right? But I'm in this for the long term, like I said. All right, so we see this. The next thing you want to look at is what are the patterns jumping up to you, right? And if you're into trading, you probably heard about a lot of patterns like, I mean, the inside bars, the head and shoulders, the cup and handle, the triangle formations. There are a lot of them out there. But my advice, or what I would say to anybody that is thinking of what pattern to use, of all the patterns out there, I'll say I use like only 4 or 3 that I've really mastered and look for them. Do they work all the time? Not really, but I mean, a 70% pass rate is enough for me, right? All right, so back to business. Before I go further, let's try and plot support and resistance lines, right? So some people call it lines, you can call it an area. Depends on how you want to look at it, right? So let's say the areas that we think are crucial, right? I'm doing this really fast, but okay. And now what are these areas? What you're seeing is that these are monthly candles. So for a rejection to happen this way, when it got up to 15 and pulled back, I mean, there's a lot of demand or supply happening here, right? We see it here again, then we go all the way down, work our way back up to this point, go all the way down. And the trend lines too, right? They're also like very good areas of, I mean, you can call it support and resistance, right? And you see them happening all at the same time. So this is how you just read a chart, right? What I'm doing right now is I'm reading it, right? I'm not ready to place a trade. I'm not deciding yet. So you can do this on your own time. Okay. And yeah, that's it. All right. So technically you have a break from this falling wedge. It goes down all the way. Do I know how far it's going to go? No, maybe it's going to come to the $1 point, maybe not. On the long term, we're probably heading towards here. We already did. We're going to break it towards here and towards here. Now, when are this going to happen? I don't know. How soon? I have no clue. 6 months, 2 years, 4 years. I can see the future. So I'm just going to wait till it happens in the meantime. And yeah, so for clarity's sake, I'm going to take all this off. All right. So one can argue that one sees a cup and handle here, like this is a big cup with a handle formation and it's heading for the breakout of the top of the cup, right? You can say this is another cup, a handle, a breakout, and it's testing the top of the cup, which is this area, right? If you don't know what a cup and handle formation is, please just do a really quick Google search. It's one of the trading patterns. Again, it's a cup and handle. Really good one to watch out for, right? But I'm not going to go into that right now. What I'm going to do is, again, bear with me. Just look. If you look closely, it also looks like we have something called a head and shoulders pattern. Again, a head and shoulders pattern. So this is shoulder 1, and this is the head. This area goes up, come down to form shoulder number 2, and this is the breakout of the neckline of the head and shoulder pattern. Now, with the head and shoulder pattern, one thing you really want to watch out for is that the shoulders, that's shoulder 1, this area, and shoulder 2, must never be below the head. So the head is going to be a little bit deeper than the both shoulders on the right and the left area, right? So let's take this out, taking out the support lines just for explanation's sake. And let's try to connect the necklines of the head and shoulder pattern. And for the neckline, you have this, right? You have something like this. Oh, okay. And this is it. And this is it. Again, maturity, why I say the close of this month is really important. And this is the break we had all the way from January. Price went back in February to test that neckline. Tested it again. Tested it a third time. And now it's looking to break it. Now, for a monthly candle, it's not considered a break until the end of the month. So anything can happen. We can have towards May 31st, you can have this pulling back all the way above this neckline, which should be really good. I'm just going to make this neckline a different color. Okay, better, right? And we should be really good. If this happens, it shows that this line has been validated not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times, right? But if this were to break below this head and shoulder pattern, we're probably heading down. Do I want to say that? No. But most times we don't control what the market does. We don't even know what the market is going to do. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I know what the market is going to do. The market is going to do what it wants to do when it wants to do it. I'm just a spectator. I'm just an audience, right? Okay. So I'm just seriously waiting for the end of May to see what happens here. So another thing that makes me think that this area is really important is something called an inside bar. So inside bars, that's another pattern that's really, really good if you want to check it out. Well, let's see if we can see any inside bar. Look at this candle on June 2020. This is the high somewhere here, and this is the low of the candle. Well, let me change this to an arrow. Right. So this is the high and this is the low, right? Now how many subsequent bars do you see currently inside the high and the low? I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that is 6 months before the breakout. And to make this a little bit more clear, I'm going to put this here, right? Just to, good. We can shift this a little bit. I mean, yeah, we are technically looking at the inside bar. This is the mother bar with all this inside, right? And why it is called inside is because none of them, the highs or the lows of these bars, did not go outside the low of the mother bar or above the high. And if we were to go above, like what happened, excuse me, like what happened in January. Now this is a break. This is what we call a breakout of an inside bar, right? So we had this breakout, and not only is it a breakout of an inside bar, it's also a breakout of this multi-year falling wedge, right? You say, this is why I said I still have hopes in this stock, right? And again, I'm going to put the trend, the neckline back, and it looks back like this. Boom. And you see why I said the close of May is really important, right? Because this is an area of confluence, right? It's also trying as much as possible. 2 things are happening here. One is the neckline of the head and shoulders, which is indicated by the black line, the trend line. And the other is the green box, which is the high of the mother bar that had a breakout. And if May was to close below this, I'm going to explain what I think is going to happen for scenario 2. But if we close above this, good. Again, validating this area of confluence, making it a really, 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 really strong area. I mean, that's what I want to see. I'm sure that's what most of us want to see. This area, really important. All right? We want this candle to close just above this, above the 3.20 mark we do. Right now, we're heading up, we're heading down. We'll see. Patience, we'll see. All right. Now, again, I said the market does what it wants to do, right? Let's assume I'm wrong. Let's assume we're all wrong that this candle may closes below this area of confluence. Okay, I'm just gonna take this out, take this out, take this out. Now, what is the next thing that might happen? Again, we might have a test of this, right? We might have the price coming back to test this area, right? Breakout, pullback, and a test, right? It looks like this: a breakout, a pullback, so resistance turns support, and we have market going back up, right? It never goes in a straight line. So that being said, that is 1. 2, there is another mother bar. So the breakout from January has now multiple inside bars inside it. Again, why I call it a mother bar is this. I'm just going to do it for clarity's sake. I'll put a line up here. And and put another line just at the low point of it. So this is the high of the January candle and the low point of the January candle. As you can see, the past 3 months and this current month, all the highs and lows are still inside the candle, right? So now, if this candle was to break below the previous area of confluence, that is the neckline of this head and shoulders pattern, right? I see it going a little bit, a little bit down for a ride towards the low. Gonna zoom into this, towards the low point of this bar, and that is around 1.66, I believe 1.7 to be precise, and it's gonna test this area. So we might be heading down for somewhere here before we resume. That is scenario 2. And do I want that to happen? No. I'd rather see this May candle close above the neckline. Does the market care what I think? Nope. Not at all. So just gotta be realistic, right? Okay, so that is that for the monthly chart. That is my take. That's why I'm still holding on. Let me know what you think. I'm going to the weekly charts and let's see what's happening here. On the weekly charts, you can see that multi-year trend line looking a little bit more clean from February 2014 all the way to 2015, 2017. You can see the multiple points in the head and shoulders and the break. So we have a break below. We're trying to see if we can go back up. We should call a fakie. If not, guys, just brace it. We're going to go down for a little more time. It's going to take a little longer. Just be patient, okay? And on the daily time frame, yeah, I know. I remember this too, right? Like, you know, if you look deeply, you'll see, just going to do this one moment. You see the price kind of formed a triangle. Going to change this color. Sometime in December 2020, there was a triangle and price was stagnating, right? This is what you can call it an accumulation phase. And all of a sudden, there's a breakout down below the triangle and back in. And here we go. All the way to 7, right? And now we've been on this journey down to normal land, right? So just bear with it. This is the neckline that we saw on the monthly chart. My chart looks kind of skewed now. This is it. If we can close above that on the daily time frame, it will be lovely. It's just this. It's this area, right? So we're hoping to see if we can go back and stay above this after the close of May or before the close of May. Then, to me, I feel like that's a really, really strong indication of a continuation of the uptrend. All right, so this is what I think about Izea. Tell me what you think. I'd love to share thoughts with you. And if you have something that is really think is going to help us, please let me know, okay? Have a great day. See you next time. Bye.